History of London. London is located on the banks of the Thames River. London is the home of the United Kingdom's government and the country's financial centre. The city has always taken advantage of its privileged location in southeast England, as it has always been a densely populated and wealthy area. The foundation of London. The Romans founded London, and their rule lasted from 43 AD to the 5th century AD, when the empire fell. During the 3rd century, Londinium, the Roman name for the town, had a population of 50,000 people, owing primarily to the influence of its major port. Londinium declined as a result of repeated Anglo-Saxon invasions in the 5th century, and by the 8th century it had become the capital of the Kingdom of Essex. Several Viking attacks occurred in the town during the 9th century. As a result, Danish settlers settled in the area, encouraging trade and establishing businesses in the town, transforming it into England's first urban centre. The Danish Great Heathen Army was drawn to the town's wealth and power, and it besieged it until it was captured by King Alfred the Great in 886. Following the Norman invasion and conquest of England in 1067, the newly crowned King of England, William Duke of Normandy, established the city's existing rights, laws, and privileges. During William's reign, the Tower of London was built. King John strengthened the city's self-government in 1199, and in 1215, the city could elect a different mayor every year. England had no capital city for many years. The institutions of central government, however, were relocated to Westminster, near London. This, along with the rise of trade in the area, were two critical factors in London's emergence as England's capital. A constantly expanding city. During the 14th century, London's port evolved into a European hub for goods distribution. This activity was bolstered during the 15th century by the textile industry. From the 16th to the mid-17th centuries, London benefited from the Tudors' centralized politics and maritime trade expansion, which was continued by the Stuarts. During Henry VIII's reign, London had a population of 100,000 people. It had over 500,000 people in the mid-17th century. The city was still held within the ancient walls in 1665, despite the fact that large-scale urban planning had already begun. The poor living conditions of the population were to blame for the Great Plague, which killed 70,000 people, and the following year, a massive fire destroyed most of the city. The reconstruction of London, based on what is now known as the city, took more than 10 years to complete. The architect Christopher Wren's masterpieces, such as St. Paul's Cathedral, increased London's appeal, and thus the capital became more popular. London's growth was aided by the establishment of the Bank of England in 1694. It was the world's second central bank, quickly following the Swedish Sveriges Riksbank, and arguably the most successful. It provided the financial flexibility that would be the foundation of the empire's power, the vestiges of which can still be seen in London's preeminence as a financial centre today. The majority of modern London dates from the Victorian era. Until the early 19th century, the capital was confined to the original Roman city's boundaries, as well as Westminster and Mayfair, and was surrounded by fields. Regardless, the Industrial Revolution drew millions of people to London, causing the city to grow. However, overcrowding caused serious problems such as the 1832 cholera epidemics and the Great Stink of 1858, which occurred during the hottest months of the summer, exacerbating the smell of sewers dumped in the River Thames and forcing the suspension of parliamentary sessions. The population increased from 700,000 in 1750 to over 4,500,000 in 1901. 6,600,000 if we include the suburban areas. By the end of the 19th century, London had established itself as a major international trade and financial centre. The administrative needs of a city with so much commercial activity led to the establishment of a new autonomous territorial unit, the County of London, in 1888, ruled by the London County Council. This county was divided into 29 electoral units, the city and 28 metropolitan boroughs, but the progressive expansion soon spilled over into the suburbs. After a steady period, the capital's population began to decline at the end of World War I, falling below 3.5 million by 1950. The suburban area, on the other hand, grew steadily. In 1963, a new division of London was created, consisting of the Old Town and 32 metropolitan boroughs, which are still visible today. Brexit. The UK's exit from the European Union was the most significant event in recent London history. Although the Brexit referendum was held in 2016, the process took some time. The United Kingdom will officially leave the EU on January 31, 2020. After that, A transition period was established during which final trade agreements were reached, which ended on December 31, 2020.